Hi, so how many people actually saw that darn cat too? That was my finest hour. I was not only spiffy, but I also did the voice of Tuffy in that darn cat one. Good night. Okay, so hi. Hi, it's good to be here in the Big Apple. Don't bite no maggots. But I think, you know what? I think it's a misnomer, and I'll tell you why I think that. I think they should call it the Big Bran Muffin, actually, and because I have never been confronted by such a thing. You go into the delis here, it's like bran muffins the size of babies' heads. Bran muffins that needs to be reckoned with. Just these huge girth mice. Everything's in them, like nuts and millets and legumes and things of that nature. And I think that soon they're going to have fire laws, only 2 people in the deli with the muffin, nobody gets hurt. And the thing is that concerns me is like, when you really question your role in the big picture when you are in danger of being dwarfed by a muffin. And that makes me, I need to come to terms with that. And I did some of that sidewalk shopping, get some of those impulse buys, the Vogue from 1979, a pair of clogs, broken blow dryer, things like that I really needed. But I noticed when I questioned the man, I tried to haggle about the blow dryer, and he was a little surly, and I said, sir, I will take my business to the next sheet down on St. Mark's. I said, good day. Okay, so last time I was here, I was on my birthday, and I turned 26, which is really so unlike me, if any of you know me. But I got my wallet stolen, and as usual, my bank bent over backwards not to help me out, which I thought was really great. Employees are the most pass the buck stops nowhere near you employees in the history of banking. And what am I going to say to get tough with my bank? How am I going to threaten them? Look, people, either I get good service or I take my $14 right out of here and put it in a coffee can under my bed. What do you think about that? How do you like that? So let's see, what else? You know, it's a pass-the-buck, hit-and-run world, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not going to name names for the airlines, but by the way, if I may go off on a tangent on a show, but I flew here I took the red-eye from Los Angeles, this is true, and I was one of the only civilians, I guess I was amongst the Orthodox Hasidic kids from Los Angeles going to Camp Manavu. It was like chaos aplenty. All of it was just chaos. And like Yentl and Tevye meets somebody who would have payas. That's not a joke. I just said I was going on a tangent. I didn't promise. I don't promise that they're all gold. I just said I was talking. Okay, good. So I'm on the flight, and they are, okay, the pass the buck thing. The airlines are the most fair weather friends, by the way, in P.S. You buy your ticket from these people, and they're your best bud. Try and change it. Go ahead. Try and change your ticket, and somehow you have purchased the fascist. You can just sit in your seat and shut your whole ticket. You can shut your gaping maw and like it all the way from Los Angeles to New York for $960,000. Okay. And you get here, and you have your cumbersome airline bags. I don't know how many totes you carry on, but you have all these bags. Say you're in Penn Station or something. You know, you go to Penn Station or Grand Central or whatever, you've got these bags, you've had your big gulp, so you got to go to the bathroom like 6,000 times. You can't be schlepping your bags back and forth, because you can't always get the handicapped stall where you can utilize your space and kind of stretch and move and go and duck and weave and shadow box if you like to. And by the way, if you see any comics before a show, either doing squat thrusts or shadow boxing or air boxing, they're not funny. That's just a little rule of thumb. If they're doing neck rolls, not funny. It's just mutually exclusive. So anyway, you got your bags, and you don't want to carry them back and forth, but what are you going to do? How are you going to, you know, how can you trust people in Penn Station or whatever? Wouldn't it be great if there was like a litmus test question you could just ask people like, excuse me, sir, have you seen Louis Malle's latest feature? Have you seen anything with Gerard Depardieu in it? You have. Great. Could you wash my bags? Because anybody that's a big Gerard Depardieu fan is probably not going to steal your stuff. He may judge you harshly for what you're wearing, but he's not going to make some smug comments. So, you know, you get robbed as usual, you know, and you go to your bank machine. And, like, I go to my bank machine, and there's people behind me. I know they're looking over my shoulder, and I'm just so humiliated. The machine's like, I punch in my code. The machine's like, what, are you kidding? You were just here. Take a walk, deadbeat. You pay your student loans. Student loans for the rest of my life. I owe everybody in the Western Hemisphere money. I don't know how that happened, but it just did. I owe everybody. The Columbia Record and Tape Company sent a thug to my apartment to repo my Best of Bread album. I couldn't believe it. And I have nothing. I own nothing. I'm 26 years old and I can't cover my nut. And I'm lying. I don't even have a nut, okay? Can we just call a spade here? If there was like a natural disaster, earthquake, what have you, I would lose some really good tapes. Some good mix tapes from '87 with Depeche Mode bootlegs, okay. And I think I saw the Judds today. I really do think I did. And I just want to, maybe somebody looked like him, but the daughter Judd's face in reality is actually about 4.5 feet wide. A little creative shading, some contouring. And I think other people thought they saw the Judds too, and there was this very like hush-hush clandestine, like, oh my God, the mother's really so much prettier than the daughter. The daughter's such a pretty girl. She's so heavy set. It's like this like hush thing, like it's a secret thing. And I liken that to when uptight white people are in a crowd at like TGI Fridays or something, and they tell a story and the word black comes into play. And they're like talking, going, well, you know, she's dating her boss and they're always flirting around the water cooler and her boss is a black gentleman. And everybody whips their head around, you know, they're not looking for trouble. Just checking the room. My mother's like that, completely anal retentive. We could be around the kitchen table in my home, and she's like, I brought the car in again. I think the mechanic is ripping me off. And everybody whips their head around like Morgan Freeman's loading the dishwasher or something like that. It's like, relax, Morgan, man, it's just uncool. Thank you. Good night, everyone.